Hi, my name is Mike Patrick, and I'm running for the office of Mayor of Marysville. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for setting up this portal. I think the portal is an excellent tool for people to be able to do their homework before they vote, and I really appreciate you checking in to do your homework. I also want to thank the League for what they do in terms of promoting democracy, encouraging voter registration, and having fair elections. You know, we live in a beautiful city. We're surrounded by trees and mountains, and water, and fields. We have blue skies. Okay, occasionally we don't, but for the most part. And in that, at the same time, on the flip side, we have some very challenging problems. And I believe our challenging problems are the result of rapid growth. And in that rapid growth, there doesn't seem to be a clear picture anymore of who is deciding what Marysville looks and feels like and what we want in our city. Currently, I believe the look and feel of this city now is done by developers based upon the codes and regulations the city provides. And I think that's true with most cities, but I think given our history, the hometown look of Marysville deserves a different approach. You know, we were a timber town, and then we were an agricultural center, and we really have a strong relationship with the earth. When we look west, our neighbors of the Tulalip tribes, I think that we're all concerned about the environment we live in and what we're doing to our land and how we use our land. In 1980, the census determined Marysville had 4,400 people. 4,400 people. Since then, Marysville annexed 20,000 people, and annexation's okay because those were existing homes and the businesses we have here supported them. However, that leaves 40,000 new people, and with new people come new homes, new shops. So consequently, residential and commercial developers have kind of taken control of our city at the expense of what the residents want. Also, unfortunately, during this growth period, we had the advent of strip malls, followed with big box stores and national and regional chains, as well as online retail, and consequently, the shops that made Marysville have kind of lost their prominence. What's become an icon in Marysville is the brand of a store, a large store, versus what we used to have in the way of hometownness. When we poorly mitigate growth, it's much like a virus attacking a human body. It goes after our physical and social infrastructure. As you know right now, our traffic systems are overloaded, our public safety is deteriorated, our schools are overwhelmed, and holes are being ripped in our social safety net for those who are less fortunate. Many large-scale developers focus on profit margin and their brand. That's the essence of what they care about at the expense of residents and the problems that the growth is causing. Now, I would agree that some developers take on stuff to help the city. But at the same time, we have to know what we're living in right now. What are we facing right now? And it would say those efforts by the developers aren't really making that much difference. I will say this, if you like the way Marysville is, and if you like the way Marysville is growing, then I want to encourage you to vote for incumbents, because that's what has gotten us to this point, the decisions of our incumbents. I'd like to go back to the decision about what do we want our city to look like? What do we want it to be? For me, I think about my campaign slogan, Fresh Ideas for Marysville, because I don't believe the old ideas are working. I think we need to really find the best version of Marysville through new ideas. If you're agreeing with this, I encourage you to go to the rest of the portal and read what I have to say about other things such as schools and infrastructure, the IT, and shops and those type of things. There's information there that are responses to the questions asked by the League of Women Voters, and I think that you'll find those insightful. I do believe we can honor our history by focusing on the Cascade Industrial Center, by bringing clean tech there. I think it's important that we find environmentally aware innovators, invite them to come to our city, and let those innovators bring in businesses that really are going to make a difference for us. I also believe that we can get locally owned small businesses a place to thrive and provide incentives to allow them to have the honest chance to make it against the competition they now face. My observation is way too much money is flowing out of Marysville. It's going out to the cities, the states, even the countries where these developers are headquartered or the developers live. Additionally, I think that our own residents are spending money outside of Marysville because they don't have the choice of shops that they really want to shop at. And I really think that comes with, again, those small locally owned shops that we know the people who own them, we know the people who work in them, and they really bring that sense of community to us. By keeping more money in Marysville and being able to attract outsiders to spend more money in Marysville, I think this wealth creation actually helps us with several other problems. I think when we look at the homeless situation, when we look at the affordability situation, by creating wealth that stays in Marysville, we're going to close some of those inequity gaps. Additionally, I also believe that because we have access to this wealth, that in fact we will make more donations to nonprofit organizations that help with these social problems. And even more so, I think that the faith communities that reside in Marysville will see an uptick in donations as well, allowing them to do even more outreach than they're doing now. In focusing on our future development, I think we need to really look real hard right now and determine what are the iconic places we want to save in Marysville. What are those things that have kind of tied us to our past and send a strong message to all of us that this is what Marysville looks like? When we can save these, and I don't think we can save them all, but when we can, we should. But when we can't save them, I think we should replace them. An example of this for me would be Marysville Town Center. The shops that were there prior to the town center being built, I think were essential to the look and feel, to the image of Marysville. I think that's where we had a strong sense of community that's disappeared now. And going back to my replacement thoughts, I think we should replace it. I think we should go on State Street from 4th to 80th and recreate those small shops. It'll look different, but again, it provides the essence of that hometown feel, and I think that that's really one of the things we really need. To me, if we can designate our industrial center and provide tax exemptions for businesses that go there, we can also figure out ways to protect and support our small business communities, our locally owned small business communities, so they have a chance to succeed. To me, it's very important for the mayor to be looking ahead. For instance, the traffic issues we're experiencing today were much different prior to the rapid growth. I mean, we probably worried about, well, should we put a stoplight over here, so forth and whatnot. I think the next big issue confronting Marysville will be hospital. Marysville doesn't have a hospital. The current hospitals are 80% at capacity right now. They have 514 beds. There's over 200,000 residents. And per the state of Washington, we know in the next 15 years, Snohomish County is going to grow by an additional 200,000 people. And when you look at Snohomish County, obviously it's going to be the north side and the east side of Snohomish County. So we will be even facing more people. The current estimate for Marysville is 20,000 additional people. So we'll go from 68,000 thereabouts up to 88,000, almost 90,000 people and 514 beds. And the nice thing about hospitals is they provide good jobs. They provide jobs on a spectrum too, from doctors and nurses to orderlies and other staff, so everyone can find their niche in that job market. They also provide treatment that doesn't currently exist in Marysville. They're just, urgent care facilities don't do what hospitals do. And on top of it, in the event of a disaster, they really improve our survivability. And yes, they come at a price. But there's over 6,000 hospitals in the United States, and we figured out how to design and fund all those. I think we can figure this out. In the portal, I address other issues, such as the drug mess, homelessness, schools, environment, information tech. And I'd encourage you to look at those responses and see what you think. I do want you to know, by voting for me, you will be getting someone who is willing to balance the wants of developers and the wants of residents. I will be an independent voice that looks for I want to find those decisions that better Marysville as a whole. If this is your hope as well, then I really ask that you would join me and vote for me this November. Please vote for Mike Patrick for office of mayor of Marysville. Thank you.